Hello, and welcome to Laudio's four-part webcast series, Self-Care for HealthCare. My name is Tom Hills. I'm a senior executive with Laudio, and I'm happy to have LeAnn Thieman here with me today. LeAnn is a nationally acclaimed professional speaker, author, and nurse who was accidentally caught up in the Vietnam orphan airlift in 1975. After her Operation Baby Lift story was featured in Chicken Soup for a Mother's Soul, LeAnn became one of Chicken Soup's most prolific writers. Her devotion to more than 30 years of nursing made her the ideal co-author of the New York Times bestseller, Chicken Soup for the Nurse's Soul. Her latest book, Self-Care for HealthCare, Your Guide to Physical, Mental, and Spiritual Health, provides the backdrop and content for this webcast series. Welcome, LeAnn. We're so glad again to have you with us today.
I'm so happy to be back. Thank you.
During our last session, we discussed the importance of establishing a self-care program and tackled the first dimension, caring for your body. Today, let's turn to the second dimension, the mind. Now, we all know the increased stress that the pandemic has placed on frontline nurses and nurse managers, and a lot's been said about mindfulness recently. LeAnn, what advice do you have for our listeners on the impact of the mind on daily work and what we can do to regain a sense of calmness in a very chaotic world?
Absolutely. We know that science proves that the mind and body are directly related. What we think about actually can affect our body function. And with all the stress that we've had even before the pandemic, we're certainly under a lot more stress now. So it's really important to devote time in very simple ways to care for your mind every day. And I have 4 separate tools to share if you'd like to hear my strategies on how to take care of our minds.
Absolutely, especially because of the importance to get stronger and to be more resilient and to be able to cope with everything that's happening around us.
Exactly. And so we have to have our bodies physically strong, of course, but I think we also have to have mental strength. So I offer 4 different tools for everyone, nurses and all healthcare givers and people in general. And myself, I have to continue to remind myself to employ these strategies. And the first one is so simple that we often discount it. And that's by taking time every day, several times a day, to stop and simply breathe. That slow, deep, easy breathing. Remember that we are taught in yoga, and I've heard it even on the news now, we need to stop and breathe more often. We learned that in childbirth of how that really does affect it. But breathing that slow, deep, easy breathing from the abdomen for 3 or 4 minutes at a time, dropping our shoulders and clearing our minds, really is the very best. It reduces a lot of stress, a lot of tension, and that rhythmic breathing releases a lot of endorphins in our brain, our body's own pain medicine. I actually read in a nursing journal once that endorphins have the same molecular makeup as morphine, and we have this on tap. But forget to utilize it by doing rhythmic things like breathing. And the second one I really believe in is that power of positive thinking. It is true, we get what we expect in life. I read that book first, that was the name of it, Power of Positive Thinking by Dr. Norman Vincent Peale when I was just in my 20s. And then a surgeon, Bernie Siegel, took it to another level. He quit his day job to prove that what you think about can actually change your body function. He did lots of research on it. One study, for example, one of his first cases was a young woman that had been diagnosed with inoperable abdominal cancer and given 6 months to live. But she implemented Bernie's positive thinking and visualization, and she visualized her cancer cells being dissolved and going away for an hour every day. And in 3 months, her tumor was gone. And he documented that scientifically. Our bodies do respond to what we think about, and so do our work environments. And we get what we expect, and we get what we repeat over and over to ourselves. So I have a list in my book, but I encourage people to make their own positive affirmations. Put them on sticky notes and put them everywhere you look, on your locker and on your computer screen and on your kitchen cupboard, reminding you to think positive and write those down. I am strong, I am healthy, I am able to cope, I love my family, whatever is your positive affirmation, but you want more of in your life, repeat over and over. and then visualize it, and you'll get it. And then the third is my favorite because it's laughter. And we've proven that laughter really is the best medicine. It does indeed, with that rhythmic breathing, like rhythmic breathing release those endorphins in our brains. And but kids know this. Kids laugh 400 times a day. Grown-ups laugh like 10. Somebody told me 4, and we know people who can't meet that quota. So we have to think about. I actually asked people to make a list of what makes them laugh. Give it some thought. Are there cartoons or books or movies or comedians that just, or YouTube videos that just make you laugh and laugh and laugh, as my girlfriend said, until tears run down your pant leg? We need to laugh every day, release those endorphins. It does lower our blood pressure, it exercises our internal organs. And I encourage even to people make laughter bulletin boards at work, even if it's a covered front, where you can bring the humor and the laughter into your life, because it's healing, very healing. And the fourth and the final one, actually that people write to me most about in gratitude, is forgiveness. There's even science now proving that failing to forgive really does affect your health. And so I remind everybody that we have to first of all forgive ourselves for any past mistakes or indiscretions or do-overs, but we have to also forgive somebody else. No matter how horrific the offense might have been, and I know some are horrific, but failing to forgive really hurts us ourselves. So why would we allow someone who caused us so much pain, why would we give them the power to continue to hurt us by giving us sleepless nights and upset stomachs and headaches? And we know that we have to forgive. If they, even if you think they don't deserve it, we do.
Those are really great tips. Have you been able to document the impact that caring for the mind can have on quality of care, LeAnn, or
Actually,
engagement and happiness with work?
Yeah, thank you. Actually, we have. With our year-long SelfCare for HealthCare program, we do surveys of all the participants in hospital systems and individuals at the beginning and halfway in and then at the end. And they do a self-assessment survey of how they have changed and how they feel. And the results have just been amazing. And then the hospitals measure their own statistics. And we've had as much as 20% increase in engagement and 13% increase in retention. And most people know probably that the Institute for Health Improvement wrote a white paper of the framework for putting joy in the workplace. And I wrote a response to that as well, showing all the self-assessment tools that we've offered, and all those questions that we have in our survey. Some people had 30 and 40 and up to 70% increases in their own mental well-being after implementing these programs. And as we both established, that does indeed impact our patient care and our work environments.
Fantastic. Well, thanks, LeAnn, for your comments today. And during our next conversation, we'll discuss self-care for the spirit.
Thank you.